Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Heidi from My Reading Life, and I'm here today to film my TBR check-in and book haul for the month of July. Whew, I am hot. It is hot here. I'm sure it's hot where you are. I don't do well when it's hot, so let's all just try to get through this. I had to shut the air conditioning off in order to film this video, so I'm gonna keep it moving along. All right. So in July, I read a total of 13 books. Let me just show you the board there. And so in July I read 13 books. 6 of them were off my shelf. I brought in 8, but I unhauled 2, so that left me breaking even, and I'm still at 129 for the total. So I feel pretty good about that considering I brought in 8 books. Let's talk about, first of all, the books that I read 13 total, only 6 off my physical TBR. So I read a lot of stuff from the library and stuff from Scribd on ebook and audiobook, which, you know, happens sometimes. And I didn't read anything off the ancient TBR from last month, but I'm already rectifying that. I already have a book on the go in August that's from the ancient TBR. So I'm hopeful that I will get back on track with that. Let's see, the 2 books that I DNF, let's talk about those first. And these books are books that were given to me as gifts, that were used, and so I didn't know if I'd be interested or not, and I've just decided that I don't have interest in holding on to them. And the first one is Lisa Wingate, The Book of Lost Friends, which is historical fiction. And the other one is Cemetery Road by Greg Iles probably. And this, I believe, is like a psychological, or no, not psychological, but just a thriller, suspense thriller type book set in Louisiana, I believe. So yeah, just decided that I wasn't interested at this time, so I'm just going to let those 2 go. So that's where we're at with the reading and books out of the house. So let's talk about what we brought into the house. So the first thing is these first 3 books are books that I bought used from a used bookstore when I was away for a little getaway, overnight getaway for my anniversary. So this is Linden Hills by Gloria Naylor. And I just want to read more Gloria Naylor. I read The Women of Brewster Place and really enjoyed it. And I've heard nothing but good things about Gloria Naylor. So when I saw this really cool copy of Linden Hills, I just grabbed it. And I don't even know what it's about. I just know I want to read more from this author. The second book is Because of Kim at Middle of the Book March, and that is Old Filth by Jane Gardam. This is the Europa edition, and she talked about this book in her channel not very long ago, and sounded so super interesting, so I thought I would give it a go. It is about this man, Sir Edward Feathers, who is a failed London lawyer and moved to Hong Kong. So that's what Old Filth stands for. It's an acronym for Failed in London, Try Hong Kong. So, and this is all about his, so he's now 80 years old and living in Dorset, and he is like remembering his life, I think. So yeah. When Kim described it, it sounded awesome and right up my alley. So I thought, yeah, let's give it a try. And then this one I grabbed because I had seen Jenny from Jenny Reads pick this one up and read it, and it's an essay collection. This is You've Changed by Pyae, Fake Accents, Feminism, and Other Comedies from Myanmar. So this is a collection of essays from this is about what it's like to be from Myanmar and be like living in the West now, and how to deal with those changes. So I wanted to read more about that part of the world, and I thought I'd like essay collections, so let's give this one a whirl. And I get it for $6, like a brand new hardcover for $6. So yeah, couldn't resist. This next book was sent to me from the lovely Stephanie at A Time to Read. This is a book that she read for the BookTube Prize and didn't care for, so she was divesting this from her collection, so I was very happy to receive it from her. I'm really interested in reading this. This is A World on the Wing, The Global Odyssey of Migratory Birds by Scott Weidensaul. You know, I love science and nature nonfiction. This is about migratory birds, so yes, please, that's right up my alley. This book I grabbed because I'm going to be doing a buddy read of it in November with Rachel, and this is Red Famine, Stalin's War on Ukraine by Applebaum. This came out several years ago now. Let me see if I can find the title page so I can tell you when it was published. 2017. So, but I just feel like I don't know enough about that whole region of the world. I anticipate this will be a very difficult read. I've heard that it's quite harrowing. But I am still interested to learn more about Ukraine and the sort of history between Ukraine and Russia in the past. Sometimes it's important to read difficult things, even though they're difficult, in order to educate yourself. So, like I said, Rachel and I will be buddy reading this one, I think, in November. These next two I got for free. I went into a local thrift store to just see what their book situation was. And they had a nice collection of books there available. And so when I asked the lady who was manning the store that day how much the books were, because there was no sign up or anything, she said, "Oh, those are free, you can have those." And I was like, okay. So then I brought home with me Project Hail Mary by Weir. This is a space adventure type book. I read Weir's first book, The Martian. I listened to it on audio actually, and I just thought it was so funny and really compulsively readable and just a hugely entertaining romp. And great, the main character had a great narrative voice. It was awesome on an audiobook. I really enjoyed my experience with that book. And I've been interested in Project Hail Mary because this is a guy that wakes up on a spaceship and he seems to be the only person alive, I think, and he has to figure out what is up. He's awakened to find himself millions of miles from home with nothing but 2 corpses for company. And he's supposedly trying to save the world because all humanity needs to get off Earth. So he and his compatriots were on a mission to find another place for humans to live. And he's woken up and nobody else is alive but him. So he has to figure out what's going on. So yeah, another space adventure from Weir. I've heard it's, again, a fun romp. So I'm looking forward to that one. And then this is another memoir. This is Saigon, a Misfits memoir of great books, punk rock, and the fight to fit in by Phuc Tran. And this is a memoir, Tran growing up in the 80s. I think he's Korean American, if I remember correctly. It doesn't say in this description, which is irritating. I've heard that this is very funny, and I have just been wanting to read it ever since I first heard about it. I really love this cover too. This picture of him from, his elementary school years with this sort of taped over it. I don't know. It's just it screams 80s to me. And that is, that was when I grew up as well. So that just makes me want to read it even more. And then last, but certainly not least, I have this amazing biography of Rachel Carson written by Lear, which was kindly sent to me as a gift from the lovely Kim at Middle of the Book March. This is a huge chunker of a book. I have been on the search for this book for so long. And in fact, the day that I bought the first 3 books that I picked up at a used bookstore, I had been looking specifically for this biography. And I couldn't find it. They didn't have it. I looked, just searched all day and just never came across it. And that evening or the next day, I watched a video from Kim where she had been in a used bookstore in New Hampshire, or maybe in Massachusetts, I can't remember, but down her way anyway, and pulled this book off the shelf and showed it, and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe you didn't buy the Rachel Carson biography. I've been looking for it everywhere. So we were, having that conversation, and then a couple weeks later, this showed up in the mail for me. Kim so kindly got this book for me and sent it to me because she knew I was looking for it, which was such a lovely and kind gesture. Thank you so much, Kim, again. So I am thrilled to have this. I'm a huge admirer of Rachel Carson. I've been reading her books over the last year and really want to know more about her life in general, not just the books that she wrote herself, but just her life in general, because I think she's such an amazing person. And I've heard that this Lear biography is like the biography to read about Rachel Carson. So very much looking forward to this one. I love me a chunky biography. So, I will be getting into that one. Okay, that's it. That is my TBR check-in and book haul for the month of July. August, as everybody knows, I'm doing my 30 books in 30 days challenge. So fingers crossed for me that I can do that and clear out some of these books off the TBR. I'm sure I've already brought in books in the month of August, so I need to read more so I can balance these books and keep my TBR under control. I hope you're all doing well and finding some great books to read. I'll talk to you later.